They didn't just get a big win in the big house. They got a big win off the field. Texas flips Myron Charles, which we went over a couple weeks ago. I said if there were one guy that I thought was going to flip, it'd be this guy. Myron Charles flips from Florida State to Texas. 4-star defensive lineman joins the Texas Longhorns. We still have the number 6 class. That did not change, but we have 20 commits in that class now. And guys, there was a lot of overreaction in the summer. A lot. Sonny posted a video on here saying that Texas should overreact to what's happening with defensive line recruiting. And I said, hey, pump your brakes. Kenny Baker has not been here that long. This staff does a really good job of maintaining and keeping relationships and getting guys to flip. We have seen it. That is why I trusted in it. I trust what I see with my eyes. I do not trust what people tell me. Steve Sarkisian has started to win on the field, which he said he was going to do. He's won on the recruiting trail the whole time he's been here, and he's flipped major recruits consistently. So when that guy tells me we're going to continue to win and we're going to flip big guys coming into the season, I believe him, and he's done it again. Myron Charles joins the class, and we might have the best defensive line class in the country now. You have Myron Charles and Josiah Sharma on the inside, both 4 stars. You have Smith Orogbo and Lance Jackson on the outside. Lance Jackson, by the end of the cycle, will be a 5-star recruit. Smith Orogbo might be. He's going to be an upper 4-star. This is a hell of a class, and I think it's going to get better because Javion Hilson just decommitted from Florida State as well. And all these guys that we're staying in on, guys, are a part of teams that their seasons could collapse. And that would really help out Texas. And the scholarship limit just got bumped up from 85 to 105. So we're talking about 20 more scholarships. And I think what I said to do was use it on the offensive and defensive line and stash those guys for a year or two. And then when the high-level guys like Lance Jackson leaves and goes to the NFL, you have these 3-star, lower 4-star recruits, and they're ready to play, and they're more prepared because they've had a year or two to sit. And Texas can do that because they also have the money to keep them around. This is turning into a – guys, if Steve Sarkisian is doing that and we pay those players properly, Texas can be in that tier with Georgia and Ohio State. They absolutely can be. I don't think we're quite there yet. I think there's still a little bit of a threshold to get to that point, but it's very, very close. And this class could do it if we hit the defensive line and offensive line. I think we need to flip one more offensive lineman. But overall, the defensive line, right now, if it ended, we'd still have a very good class. But we're one away from having probably the best defensive line class out of all of college football, or probably 1 or 2 flips on the offensive line to being able to say that as well. So that's crazy to say from a couple months ago. I know people are surprised about that. Some other guys that we will hear throughout the year that you're going to see, 4-star Zion Williams. This is a guy to me that has the highest upside of anyone we could flip. Currently, he is at LSU. He will take a visit to Texas. Everyone has said it's only a matter of time before he takes a visit to Texas. And guess what? Sark does a pretty damn good job once he gets these guys on campus of getting them to Texas. So that is the thing for me. If we get him to Texas, I think he flips. I think he goes to Texas from LSU if we get him on campus. Man Faremo, kind of gone silent. I haven't heard much about him. It's kind of, like I said, the longer this goes, the longer I think it favors Texas. And now USC. USC is starting to win. They have pretty good NIL as well. They're starting to up their game there as well. And I think it's honestly going to be between USC and Texas now. I think with Notre Dame losing on the field, I don't think you're going to want to go there. I just don't. And I think the longer it goes, it favors Texas and USC. It's going to be interesting. I honestly think whoever has the best year between the two on the field is who gets him. So we'd really love to have him. I think he's the perfect guy for this class. We have a lot of speedsters. This guy's more of a thumper, and I think he would help out a lot to get Madden Faremo into the fold. The next guy that I think if Javion Hilson doesn't come next, it'll be this guy, 5-star wide receiver Michael Terry. I think it's Texas, Nebraska with Oregon trending third. I don't know. I think it's probably 40-20. Percentage-wise, or even 45-10 with Texas, Nebraska, and then Oregon at third. It's going to be interesting, and I hope we get him, guys, because it would lock so many unique and different schemes. He's basically either going to be a big outside wide receiver, or he can be a tight end, or he can be an H-back. He can be so many things in this offense, along with Nick Townsend as well that's coming in this tight end class. Very impressive what Sark is building offense and defensively. And then a new guy that we kind of just started to get in on, Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng. It's saying he was actually at the Texas versus Michigan game. Michigan's been heavily in on him, and he's going to visit Texas. October 19th versus Georgia. That is just makes it even a bigger game. You're going to have a lot of kids there, guys, and that is huge. If Texas is able to beat Georgia with all those kids watching, sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. This guy's a upper 4-star, lower 5-star, depending on where you look. He's already taken official visits to Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and USC. I have no clue where he could end up. Texas obviously is probably playing a little bit from behind here since they're a little bit late on him. But overall, Texas is hot on the trail right now, so it's very interesting. And then, guys, Dallas Wilson, wide receiver from Oregon, we're going to try to flip. Dalen McCutcheon from Florida State and Kelshawn Johnson from A&M. Two of those guys are at places I don't know how good they're going to be this year. Florida State could just completely fall apart. If Florida State loses to Memphis this week, you're going to see so many guys. They only have 13 right now. You're going to see more decommitments, and that could be one of them. And then Kelshawn Johnson from A&M. Why in the hell would you want to go play wide receiver there? They don't have a quarterback. Their offensive system isn't good for wide receivers. And they're not a good football team this year. They're probably at best going to be 9-3 at best. I'm being very kind about that. I think they're 7-5, 9-3. I predicted them to go 8-4 before the season. But Texas is definitely looking at a speedster because you already have Jamie French and Khalil Lockett. Jamie French is faster than Khalil Lockett, but he's not a speedster. These three guys are speedsters, and I think we're going to try to flip one of them. We'll probably see some wide receivers get some offers too, and I'm interested to see when that happens and who it is. But those three would be interesting, and we'll see if we can flip there. And then Joseph Mbachu from Florida. Listen, man, if this season turns out like the first game for Florida, I think you're going to see this guy decommit pretty quickly. Kenny Baker and Tashard Choice, the running back coach, are heavy on this recruitment. I think those are two. Or Tashard Choice is a very good recruiter. We'll see what Kenny Baker's like. But Tashard Choice, man, he can convince you. And he can convince you with the best of them. It'll be interesting to see if we can flip Mbachu from Florida. He's a upper 3-star, low 4-star. And then Kevin Wynn from Florida State. Honestly, this is the guy I'm least confident in decommitting. He seems pretty steady to me. He seems like the type of kid that once he's in the fold, he's not going to leave. He's not going to run away from adversity. So it'd be kind of shocking to me if he flips to Texas. The only school I could see him flip to because it's in his home state is Georgia. But I think he's pretty solid with Florida State. Now that I say that, I'll probably decommit tonight and flip to Texas tomorrow, which I will not be angry about. But that's my read on Kevin Wynn. And then Chance Sims from an A&M. I don't know. This is me guessing and getting into the mindset of a kid. He was looked over at Texas for a while. They finally started to pursue him. Will he be able to look at that and say, you know what? You didn't look at me hard enough early on. You passed me over for other guys. Why would I come there? If he can do that, I think there's a really good chance he comes to Texas. If he can't, he's not coming to Texas. And then Caleb Bell from Arkansas. Arkansas actually looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. They should have won the game versus Oklahoma State. If they continue on that trend and they ended up, let's say if they end up 7-5, I could see Caleb Bell staying with Arkansas. That wouldn't shock me. Sam Pittman rising from the dead would shock me a little bit, but Bobby Petrino is a hell of an offensive coordinator, and Taylor Green looked pretty damn good. So those are the guys we could possibly flip. We already flipped Myron Charles. Steve Wiltfong did put in a crystal ball for Javion Hilson. If we get him, guys, I think we have the best defensive line recruiting in the country up until this point, unless Georgia gets someone out of nowhere. But if he jumps in onto this ship, I think we have the best defensive line commitments in the country for the 2025 class. So that will do it for the recruiting update. I really appreciate it. Again, guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. It really helps out what we're trying to build here. And go to your favorite audio platform and find us at the Texas at the Voice of College Football. You can listen to me on there, your favorite audio platform, and use the Amazon link in the description. Does not cost any money. Does not change your buying experience. Puts a little bit of change into Mark's pocket. Thank you guys for that very much. And again, hit that like and subscribe button. We will get into UTSA preview in a second. Top 3 recruiting class incoming. That is very possible. That is very, very possible. So I was the most optimistic one that I saw, 3 or 4 months ago. I said, you know what? I don't know if top 3 is possible. I think top 5 is possible, but I don't see it. I think top 7 to 8 is going to happen. Top 7 and 8 is definitely going to happen. I think top 5 is the most likely outcome. And then I think top 3 isn't out. It is possible. You're going to have to flip probably 2 to 3 more guys and then get some of these offers that you just released. And then also land Michael Terry. If you land Michael Terry, flip 2 or 3 of these guys, and you also land Matt Faramo, and there's 1 or 2 of these guys that we just offered commit, I think we're a top 3 recruiting class, if not better, honestly. Depends where we flip them from. If we flip them from Georgia or Ohio State, in like a Devin Sanchez's case, then we could be the best recruiting class in the country. So that'd be very, it's very possible. Would I bet on it? No. Would I bet on a top 5 recruiting class? Absolutely. I'd bet a lot of money on that right now.